All right, rise and shine, everybody. Well, okay, not so much about the shine, right? But rise and look out your window. We had some snow out there for this morning. I hope you guys are doing well. Happy Saturday to you all. Wave meteorologist Brian Good for an update on, of course, the setup happened last night. What's expected in the next few days is we have a 4-pack deal for you all. You get 4 alert days for the price of 1. And we'll have another one that will be kicking in for tonight, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Will we add more than that up? We'll see. This has been very interesting setup for us. But I'm going to try to explain the best I can where we stand as of this morning before I have to jump back on the air on the television side of things here very soon. But at least want to make sure to touch base with where we are on this. Okay, so as always, you guys are already doing this. You're commenting on social media, so you can always do that. Hopefully, I will be able to get some of your questions in before I have to jump away here. But if you're watching on streaming, you're not seeing the comments fly in, so I apologize for that. If it seems like I'm talking to myself, I promise there are people here. There are people here. I'm not talking to myself. All right, so let's get into the snowboard real fast, and then we'll come back around again to the outlook and for the down the road setup in these alert days. Okay, so we got the snow that's coming into play tonight. I did elevate that slightly on impact, and this is an impact scale that I'm looking at when you see the snowman, right? It's not snowfall amount, to be clear. Okay, so impact tonight, just because of timing more than anything. We get into the Sunday night and Monday to early Tuesday. It's really 2 different waves there, but all together, the potential is there for an impactful, even with light snow, there will be impacts just because of how cold we're going to be on the area roads. And then obviously we're adding in the one for next week already for next Thursday into Friday. That one looks like it'd be very similar to what we're going through now with the chance to get at least some impactful type of snowfall. But it doesn't look overly heavy as we get into the latter next portions of next week. There's no alert date for that, just FYI. It's on the snowboard though. And just let you guys know that we are indeed watching it. All right, the snowfall last night wasn't a lot. It was a ½ inch of snow. That was fairly common actually for several sites in Indiana, but officially in Louisville, that's what we ended up with the tally there. So it's that kind of a season. We're adding up small little pieces, right? So we're now over a ½ inch, 0.6. We had a small amount back in the fall that added on to the board. So we normally should end up by the time we're done here with the season and we get into February and March, on average is about 13. So we're running behind roughly about 2 or 3, something like that right now, behind schedule of the normal route. But it doesn't really matter around here. We don't do anything normal. It's a surge of one extreme or another, then we go back the other way. That's how it is with our weather here. So it's fun to show you these stats, but they really just, we bounce around a lot in wave country. And you guys, if you've grown up here, you are fully aware of that. All right, let me show you a live look. Hey, it's pretty, right, to wake up and see the snow. This is in Corydon, Indiana. Really tells a story, too, because the side roads are the ones that are a little more impacted with the snow, and some of that blew around like crazy last night, so it's really kind of all over the place. But be careful on your sidewalk, your porch, walking out to the deck. Still could be slick, obviously. We're way below freezing at the moment. But the main roads, you see that car's going by, main roads have been treated very well. Salt trucks were out in Ernst last night, so they did a great job, and I didn't see any issues at all on the roads for main roads being treated. This is the live look at Spaghetti Junction. You can see the same thing. In fact, they're getting that gray look to them, and they're getting the gray look not because of snow, but because of the salt that was put down. You can see that that time of the year, right? We're going to have to get ready to get back to our car washes when it warms back up. We can't do it yet below freezing, but we need to get that salt off the cars. It's going to be a while. So get ready. All of our cars are going to be the shade of gray for a while as we get into these light snow events. Okay, so this, again, was not a huge ordeal in snow, but it's going to keep it cold today. I do think we are going to see a hint or two of sun, especially south of Louisville this afternoon, but most of us will likely avoid it. Look at the wind. Still is not wanting to give up. So we got current gusts in Louisville, 31 miles per hour, 43 still in Lexington and Frankfort. Louisville yesterday hit 51 miles per hour, Bowling Green 52, Lexington 57 miles per hour. So not as strong certainly as what we had yesterday, but it's still gusty at times. And with the snow being such a dry fluffy snow, when those little wind surges happen, you're going to see the snow blow off your roof or your deck and whip around, and you'll look out the window like it's like a blizzard out there. Anyway, it's a dry, powdery snow, which is going to be the theme on most of the snow events we're talking about the next few days. They'll be skipping by us as they move through here. They will be a dry snow type of variety, which is not good for snowball making or making a snowman. Yeah, it's not that kind of snow for that. It's the powdery type. Good, though, to get rid of it, because you can just use a broom in many cases and just brush it off your car or brush it off the porch. So that does indeed help on getting rid of it, versus the shoveling part on wet snow. Boy, that takes a toll on you, right? So the wind outside currently with the cold temperatures into the 20s creates a feels like or wind chill coming in at 10 in Louisville, 3 right now in Seymour, and 4 in North Vernon. These are the current wind chill value numbers. All right, the snow showers and flurries, it's hard to even see them, but they're still there. I think I did a zoom. No, I didn't. Okay, hold on one second. Let me zoom in. There we go. You can see them across the knobs, Clark County, light snow showers and flurries. This is no longer an accumulating type of snow. The batch of snow we had earlier this morning was. This is not. This is just festive flakes are flying through the air just to make everything look very pretty outside when you look out the window. They're about to taper down here very soon. We're about to pull out of this system entirely as it's wrapping up and heading away. So now our attention's already going west. We're going west. This is where that little U shape of snow is breaking out into the plains. This is the Arctic front. That's the big kahuna coming our way. You can see that cold blast of air. The coldest air, some of the coldest air, if not the coldest on planet Earth right now, is moving in to Montana. And that is the piece of the polar vortex that we talk about so many times, that was over into Norway and Russia and Siberia for much of the autumn season. We were tracking it, trying to figure out when it was going to cross over or split or what the case may be. Well, it's split, and now it's on the move now into the lower United States, and we see the impact it's had on our weather. It's making things a little wild, right? Look at the wind chill alerts. Wind chill advisory is out, including Louisville right now. I'll explain the map on that in just a second, but the alerts for wind chill are out from the Ohio River Valley all the way to the Canadian border. That pink is wind chill warning. That's when you get to the wind chill warning, that's dangerous stuff. You can only be outside for a very limited amount of time, and you run into problems for your health there. And then the wintry side, as far as snow, winter storm watches are up just about the entire state of Arkansas. Of course, the criteria is a little different, but still, all just about of Tennessee, other than Chattanooga. It looks like Chattanooga did not want to cooperate there in Southeast Tennessee. But anyway, most of Tennessee under a winter storm watch. Kentucky is not. But this is the wave we've been talking about that's moving in across the region for late Sunday, Monday, and early Tuesday. I'll have the map on that in a second. First, let me explain about tonight. That Arctic front, the big kahuna back into the plains, as that moves in, that is really going to kick up the snow shower machine again for this evening. So the current flurries will begin to fade out. We'll end up with maybe a hint or two of sun south of town for this afternoon. That'll make a difference on whether or not we go back up to 32 or maybe above freezing to 33, 34. If we don't get a lot of sun today, I don't think we're going to make it to the freezing mark. Either way, it'll be fairly quiet today. So if you have errands you need to run, again, the roads are fine, so you're able to get out and about. It won't be a bad setup today. Now, tonight, if you have dinner plans tonight or you got a hot date tonight and you want to venture out, be aware as the Arctic front moves in, roughly 8 or 9 o'clock, that's when snow showers will begin to break out. Now, these are developing along an Arctic boundary. Models usually do poor with this. When Arctic boundaries move in, they do tend to squeeze out more in the way of snowfall as far as coverage and what the modeling usually says. So we're accounting for that. Still, it is going to be light amounts in general, and it's going to be fairly progressive. So this has got a limit to it. It's got a limit to it. This is not a setup that's going to go wrong, and we're going to end up with 2 feet of snow tonight. No, this is a limited snow event, but it will be moving in at a time. It's much different than the snow last night. Snow last night was 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, right? This is 8, 9 o'clock on a Saturday evening. A little different. So we got the alert day out because of impact for anyone that's got plans this evening. Just want you guys to be aware of it. Again, it only takes small amounts of snow, especially in Louisville, just small amounts to cause chaos sometimes on the road. So just take it slow. All right. Don't be in a hurry to get anywhere and allow that extra time there. All right. So the snow showers move in this evening. They continue to build across central and southern Kentucky, and the look at the numbers begin to drop. This is, again, the true cold Arctic air settling into the single digits. Some areas could even try to get to 0 or lower into Indiana. So very, very cold 24 hours from now. And that's where we're running into problems in the wind chill. As far as snowfall goes, we'll generally say, I would say a ½ inch is fair. We had a ½ inch this morning. It could be a bit higher than what we had this morning in some spots. So if you don't see any sun today and you don't make it to 32, you're going to add on another ½ inch to what you got outside. So in some areas, you may end up with a full inch of snow on the ground, if not a bit more, by the time we get into later on tonight, just because of the combination of everything building up. And that's the thing to keep in mind as we add on these other snowfall chances Monday and Tuesday, that too will add on to the top of what is already on the ground. So that's where we can end up with a nice little coating of snowfall, just about most locations, but just because of the cumulative effect that we'll have of these snow events. But anyway, it's not a big ordeal, but again, it's more about timing more than anything. That timing, again, roughly mid-evening, 8, 9 o'clock, somewhere through that time frame. And then by midnight, most of it should be south and east of Louisville, at least, and mainly across central Kentucky. Then we got to deal with the cold air in the morning hours. Wind chill advisory is out. We don't see these too often around here, but they are out for all of Indiana and all the counties in Kentucky that touch the Ohio River, including Louisville, under this wind chill advisory. Officially, it's out at 2 a.m. and lasts until 11 a.m. on Sunday. This is a sampling of what the wind chills could be and likely will be. And again, 24 hours from now, about 7 below zero in Louisville and about 10 to 15 below zero as you head into Indiana. Certainly colder in Indiana than Kentucky will be. That's why the advisory doesn't stretch all the way down just yet. The snow, I think, is important too. We have to figure out how much of a coating we get from that evening snow tonight. There is a chance if we can get some of these amounts get a little closer to 1 inch and a few isolated cases there, these wind chill advisories will end up being a little colder even across central Kentucky, and that advisory may get expanded. So I wouldn't rule that out, but we just don't have that answer yet. We got to take it one step at a time. I think everyone knows at this point, right? It's getting cold. So I think awareness is high, very high on this setup, which is good. So what about the snow? Well, I'm glad you asked. As we head into Sunday night and Monday, there's still a couple of waves embedded in this idea. One moves fast, really, as you get into Monday morning, it zips on by, and then there's a secondary one that moves in Monday night. They're going to be so close together in timing on the radar, it's going to look like really just one that'll move through. There's no doubt still that the path of taking the majority of the higher content of moisture, which therefore would be the higher snow totals, is south. That the modeling is very much in near excellent agreement on that idea now. That it's this is a Tennessee, Southern Kentucky show when it comes to the main swath there of accumulating snow. But here's the thing: with this being an Arctic environment and this front and developing to the southeast, the models are not going to show it very well. But it will still allow for an expansive snow shield, even on the northern side. It will just be much lighter, but it will be expansive. It should blossom into a fairly widespread area of light snow with a little more of a heavier or moderate snowfall. Again, a little closer to that path, southern Kentucky, down into Tennessee. And then it moves out of here. We have a chance to really get cold again as we into Tuesday into Wednesday now, as skies clear out. And then we just reset everything again for what may happen for later next week. All right, snowfall modeling. Well, what a range. What a range. I mean, the NAM model by far is what a snow lover loves. The NAM model is going crazy with heavier snow totals quite a bit. In fact, it's a flat-out winter storm for areas of southern Kentucky, especially as we head into, I don't know why it says Friday night and Saturday. Sorry about the timing on that. But this is Sunday night through Monday night is what you're looking at. So that's the NAM. Exciting, right? Here's our in-house model. Actually isn't bad. I like how our in-house model drew this, with it being roughly in our southern counties as we head into Sunday. But it's still, even for Indiana, it does paint some snowfall, just lighter. The HER model, just not able to see the event. And you got to keep in mind, some of this is accounting for the snow tonight too. So yeah, a little bit skewed on some of the totals. GFS is like, no. Euro's like, Euro's not been a fan of this event at all for us for a while. But it really paints it a little more down toward Lake Cumberland and just the general light snow for everywhere else. Overall, this is what we've been showing. I think it's still fair to say your best opportunity to get an accumulating snow event as far as widespread and maybe more than a couple of inches is going to be Green, Taylor, and Adair, maybe up to Marion and Washington. You get between that zone and on the southern side of the Louisville Metro, still a decent chance to get an accumulating snowfall that could be about 1 to 3 inch type of range. And then roughly about 1 inch will be fairly common for Indiana and along the river. We don't have totals on this map yet. I think we'll have totals ready probably by this afternoon or tonight, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But you get the idea, though, that if you're traveling south and southeast, you guys need to stay close to the forecast for changes there, as if some of those higher totals are realized, it is something that's going to really impact travel in a big way for those of you south and east again of the parkways as we get into Monday especially. But the first little ripple is Sunday night late into Monday morning. Second one is Monday afternoon into Monday night. So there's two different ones, but in general, that's the zone that we're most concerned about will be in the blue for greater impacts. There you go. Any questions on that? And of course, now you got to keep in mind the temperature outlook here. We've got teens and single digits again for Monday and especially Tuesday into early Wednesday morning. We're still looking at below zero wind chills, but how extreme will that be? I don't know yet, because we've got to figure out how much of this is going to build up on the ground with the snow this evening and then the snow Sunday, Monday. That all plays a factor on the amount of cold we're talking about. So there is a chance if we don't get much out of this system, say we are on very much in the low end scale of the snow chances here as we get into Sunday and Monday. If we end up on the lower end of the scale, there is a chance of the cold air for tomorrow morning. The cold wind chills I just showed you of the 10 to 15 below zero may be the coldest, beating out what could happen Tuesday and Wednesday. I wouldn't rule that out. If we get snow on the ground, yep, that will allow us to get even colder for early next week. There you go. Is that clear as mud? Everyone, type 2 if you're good. Type 2 if you're good. Everyone good? I'll wait for the 2s. Don't type a 4. Whatever you do, don't type a 4, but type a 2. I hope you guys are clear on all this, because I know it's messy. I don't think I've really been around since we've had so many alert days in a row like this. This is pretty wild of a setup. And there's so many different little pieces to it. There's really not one big piece. It's just little ones that are all adding up. So we're trying to make sure we give enough time to explain it all, but I know it's a lot. It can be a little overwhelming, but I think if you're just ready for cold and snow, you'll be all right. All right, I see a lot of 2s. No one did a 4. Thank you for doing that. A lot of 2s. All right, guys, I appreciate you watching as always. I'm sorry I always am so short on getting out of here, but I just always have a very small amount of time. I need more time. But I got to get ready for the show. I've got 6 minutes to get to the studio. And I don't think I have anything ready yet. But at least want to make sure that you all were aware of where we stood on the snow tonight, because that's a bit of a change than we've had in the past 24 hours. And obviously the very cold air with the wind chill advisory that is out on Sunday morning. All right, stay warm. Don't travel if you don't have to. Just stay inside, watch some TV, watch some movies, kind of chill out, enjoy some time with the family, play some games, keep an eye on your pets, make sure they're nice and cozy as well. And let's hope that we don't end up with a huge travel mess out of this setup, but that certainly is possible. I'll be out sunrise here in just a matter of minutes with another update as some of the modeling for the midday hours will start to roll in during the show this morning. Take care, guys. Stay warm. See you soon.